Welcome everybody, and thank you for taking some time out of your, oh my goodness, what day of the week is it? Tuesday, to jump on this call with me tonight. If you are jumping on this call, it's because you are somebody who has an interest in taking a look at the ISAGENIX financial opportunity. You know, ISAGENIX is an incredible company that has been running for over 18 years now, has done close to $1 billion in sales, annually, does close to $1 billion in sales annually, and is one of the most incredible companies that I've ever had the fortune of participating in. And so you might be on this call tonight because you are a current product user who is in love with these products and is looking to see if there's maybe a financial opportunity with the products, or you might be somebody who hasn't tried the products yet and is maybe just looking at this entire company and thinking about to themselves, I might be interested in taking a look at all of this, especially with the timing of our world right now. We are in crazy times, and so many people have been flocking to the network marketing industry because of what we have going on. So I am just here to welcome you all, to say I'm just going to take 25 minutes of your time tonight to share with you what the opportunity of ISAGENIX could look like for you. My name is Chelsea Lauren. I have been with ISAGENIX for 8 years now. I've been a product user for 8 years, and actually tomorrow will be my 5-year anniversary with the business. I have been extremely, extremely fortunate to experience the blessing that ISAGENIX has been on my family financially. It has been one of the most incredible things that I've ever got to experience. Not only has it blessed myself, but it's blessed my parents and my brother financially. So with that being said, the overview tonight is going to be talking about the financial opportunity, not so much the products. We want to acknowledge starting off that there is no opportunity without the products. So it is very important that first and foremost, you have an incredible product experience with ISAGENIX and that you get to know what these products are. But the goal of tonight is really to introduce you to what this could be for you financially. So, you know, with, next slides. With ISAGENIX, one of the things that I get so excited with when I share this financial opportunity is really starting to educate people on the different financial avenues there are in this life, and asking you this question: are you chasing the right rabbit? And that might sound a little bizarre in the beginning, but when I go through this a little bit, you're going to start to understand what I mean. See, I believe there is a massive difference between financial success and financial freedom. I believe that people confuse the two a lot. See, to me, financial success is being able to work your way to a point in your life where your income is going to surpass your financial needs, so that you are earning enough that you are able to pay for the house you want, the cars you want, the vacations you want, you know, the medical care that you need, your children are taken care of, your retirement's taken care of. All of those things, to me, is the idea of financial success. And before being introduced to the network marketing industry and before being introduced to ISAGENIX, I was really down the path of chasing financial success. You know, most of us, we are told, you know, go to college, get a degree, you know, get a really good internship that sets you up for success, to get a good job, then start at the bottom, hustle, work your way up. And as you climb that ladder to financial success, every year you'll be able to gain, you know, a higher income. But what they don't tell you is that with that higher income is really what I like to call the golden handcuffs. And any of you who have experienced some form of financial success in your life probably kind of understand what I'm talking about. See, you may have experienced financial success that also came with a ton of responsibility at your company, you know, more hours and less time off because you're taking your laptops home with you on the weekends. And you're in the point where now you have the house and the cars and the vacations, and your lifestyle seems to always meet where your income's at. And so even though you have this incredible income, your lifestyle's kind of met that income, and now you can't lose that income, because now you're at a point where if you were to stop working and your income was to stop coming in, you wouldn't be able to pay these bills that you've accrued. To me, financial freedom is when you're able to earn an income that is above your financial needs, that is not connected to your time. So the big difference here is your time. See, in financial success, with more income comes less time. In financial freedom, income is not tied to your time. You have money coming in, and it's not about how many hours you're working. See, in a world that teaches us that you should become invaluable in order to have job security, I urge you to become the most replaceable piece of your income to never have to have a job again. And really, I'm going to cast a big vision right now, because what's going on in our world, what's going on in this company, I would be doing a disservice to you right now if I didn't cast the big vision. If I played small for you tonight and told you that you could just earn a couple extra dollars here with ISAGENIX, which is 100% true, and if you're here because you know an extra $500 a month would serve your family, that is completely available here. But I would be doing a disservice with the timing in our world and the timing in our company if I didn't share with you the larger vision of what's possible for your family with ISAGENIX. See, most of us go to school, whether you're going to go to get a trade or you're going to go to get an education and you have a degree, a trade or degree, it specializes you. And then I'm 27 years old. I'm going to share my story in a little bit, but I'm 27 years old. And what most of us fall into at this age is now we're not earning as much as we'd like. So they tell us to go back to school. So I see a ton of people my age who are going back to school to get their masters, to get their double masters, to get specialized in something so that they can now have a higher earning potential. But that also comes with debt unless a company is paying for it. Years that are taking away that you're not earning an income unless you're doing both at the same time, right? And so while that's happening, you now all of a sudden become so invaluable to your job, right? I'm going to specialize, I'm going to specialize, I'm going to specialize, until you're at a point where you have total job security because your company needs you. Well, did anyone ever ask you, or did you ever stop to ask yourself if you wanted job security? I mean, it sounds really great, right? Job security for life. We grow up thinking, okay, I want to make sure I have job security. But isn't what you truly want financial security? Knowing that your income is always going to be there for you. I think in the world that we're living in today, we're realizing that job security isn't real. That most companies are going to have to do what they have to do when it comes down to it. 50% of our nation is currently unemployed because of this fact. Because at the end of the day, in order to keep a company afloat, their employees come second. And when you become irreplaceable, if that's your job, if that's your goal to have job security, then guess what? You get to earn yourself a job for life. But what if you created an income that you were the most replaceable piece of that income, and that income kept coming in whether or not you were there to build it? That's financial freedom to me. And I'm going to explain exactly how that's built with our company. It's not going to be some woo-woo, hurrah, join our team compensation plan overview for you guys. I'm going to explain exactly why this company can set your family up for financial success and financial freedom. So 95% of people are chasing after financial success, and only 5% of the wealth is actually on that side of what we call the quadrants. If I was going to show you a quadrant right here, where on the financial freedom side is only 5% of our population, but 95% of our wealth. I mean, it's a stone cold fact. Most people in America know that there's a vast difference between the poor and the rich in this country, that the middle class is getting bigger. I mean, the middle class is getting smaller and smaller every single day because our gap in our income and our wages are so large now. Why is that? Well, it's because of lack of financial education. The wealthy know what I'm about to teach you. Those that are stuck in the rat race don't know, because it's not taught at schools. I went to the #1 school for entrepreneurship in the world, one of the top business schools in our country, and still no one went to taught me this. I had to self-educate about this. See, the key is that most people are being taught it's about how much you earn, instead of being taught it's the way in which you earn that matters. Because I would rather earn $50,000 a year and have it be a leveraged and residual income than $150,000 a year and it be a linear income. And I'm going to go into what that means in a second. See, linear income is that financial success. Leveraged and residual is that financial freedom. So let me define those for you. Linear income is exchanging time for money. So what does that mean? An employee, you have an hourly wage, you're salaried, you have commissions, or you're self-employed, you're an independent contractor, consultant. A lot of my generation, the millennials, are going towards this now. You know, they can run a business online for themselves doing whatever they're talented in. Maybe they can make websites, or maybe they have a special skill that they can, you know, sell. Specialty providers, small business owners, right? If I was going to open up a yoga studio, both my parents were small business owners. My mom had a cosmetic line. My dad had an insurance company, but they were the sole proprietor. And the key word there is soul. It ran on them, right? These are the workers of the world that show up day in and day out, and they work and they get paid and they spend the money, and then they go back to work and they get paid and they spend the money, right? Real estate agents, all of these types of jobs. And some of these jobs, guys, I know people who are in linear income making a fantastic salary. VP of sales at a top company. You know, you can still make a fantastic salary, but you're a worker. You're always going to have to show up over and over and over again, unless you're starting to take some of that working income and invest it into leveraged and residual income. So what's leveraged income? Leveraged income is utilizing your resources to give you more time and money. So for example, if you were going to be an investor or a business, like a big business owner, not a sole proprietor. So if I was going to invest in real estate, or if I was going to invest in stocks, right? Or if I was going to invest in opening up a franchise, and I had multiple franchises and I was employing other employees, so it was working while I wasn't. That's leveraged income. I always say this is what the American dream is built on. But unfortunately, there's massive barriers to entry. See, leveraged income has this barrier of, one, a huge financial investment. Whether you're going to invest in real estate, you're going to invest in stocks, you're going to invest in a business, all three of those are going to take tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. They also have the barrier to entry of expertise. You either need to be skilled in what you're about to do. I highly do not suggest going out and just buying real estate without knowing what you're doing, unless you're just aiming to lose money. Or you're going to need a mentor who's willing to mentor you, that you're either going to pay or they're going to do it for you for free. And then you have the barrier to entry of return on investment. It's a long time and it's high risk. You know, the average business is in the red for 3 years. That's a long time for a return on investment. Do you have $100,000 that you're willing to invest and wait 3 years to ever see a return on? And then 9 out of 10 businesses fail in their first 10 years? That's a lot of risk, right? Real estate, stocks, they have risk involved. They also have a long-term investment involved. You're not going to, you have to pay off the mortgage before you ever see that cash flow come in. So I call this leveraged income is for the blessed. It's for someone who was born into a family that knew what they were doing, taught them young, or you were blessed to find somebody who's going to teach you this, or you were gifted money when you were younger. But guys, I started my ISAGENIX business at 22, and I can tell you right now, I did not have any of these things gifted to me. So this was just not a path that I was going to be able to take. Then you have residual income, creating something once and continually getting paid on it, right? So this is an author, a musician, an actor, an app developer. The concept is they create something that the masses want to consume, and they want to consume it over and over and over again. You know, my favorite example of this is the kid from Home Alone. He was like, what, 8, 9, 10, 11 when he was making those movies. And he's never had to work a day in his life because he was a part of the creation of something that struck gold. And every single Christmas, watch over and over and over again, unless you're my boyfriend and he watches it 4 or 5 times during the year and drives me absolutely nuts. But, that's something that people enjoy and they consumed over and over again. And he receives a residual every single time it's paid. Taylor Swift was once asked if she had to write any song in the history of the world, what would it be? And they were thinking she was going to come up with some like creative answer, like some musician's answer. She said the Friends theme song. Why? She said, well, think about the residuals on that. How many times does that theme song get played? You know, Netflix, it was the Netflix special of Having Friends. Mind you, this is a 25-year-old show. It was the highest paid. It was millions and millions and millions of dollars to have Netflix, to have Friends on Netflix. The people that created that song, they're getting paid residuals that they'll never have to write another song again. But again, a barrier to entry. I call this the creatives. You know, I would love to have a residual income, but I wasn't about to go write a book. I'm not a musician. I'm not an actor. I definitely cannot develop an app. Like, it was just not going to be accessible for me. I didn't have any special talent. That barrier to entry is that special talent. So what happens is that this is why 95% of the population keeps getting shoved back into linear income. And they're in this rat race. Produce, get paid, spend. Produce, get paid, spend. Some of you are nodding your head because you know what I'm talking about. You've been there. Some of you for 2 to 3 years, some of you 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you're like, damn, I just keep doing the same thing over and over again to get paid to provide for my family. So could you get excited if I was to tell you that there's a business model that allows the average everyday person with no special talent, no large financial investment, with mentorship built in, with no need for special skills that we're already trained on, where all the barriers to entry that kept the average people out of this wealth, that you could get into that type of income streams, that you could be involved in that? Would that excite you? See, at 22 years old, this lit me up. So I was 18 when I was first introduced to ISAGENIX. Like I said at the beginning of this call, I've been using the products for 8 years. And in the beginning, I just started ISAGENIX for the products. I had gained my freshman 15 and I was looking to lose some weight. I felt absolutely fantastic on them. 3 days in, I'm pretty sure I woke up at 5 a.m. and went to the gym, and my parents were texting me at 7, like, where are you? Like, I'm not even a gym person. I don't even work out. I didn't even know what to do when I got there, but I just had so much energy. And I had lost my freshman 15 within my first month and a half. I felt incredible. My confidence was through the roof. Most importantly for me, my digestive system was working properly for the first time in my 18 years. And I was pretty pumped. But for 3 years, I just continued to use the products. I was an avid product user. It went into my dorm with me. All my friends kept asking me about it. I'd give my referrals to my mom. I'd make a couple bucks here or there. And in that time period, my mom, who was the one who introduced me to these products, by the time I was a senior in college 3 years later, had earned over $1 million with our company. And I had watched my family's life go from vacations in Florida to vacations in Italy, from me going to public school to my brother, who's 8 years younger than me, going to private school, from my dad working 40, 50, 60 hours a week at his business that he owned and run, being able to retire from that business and sell it and being able to have more freedom in his 50s, from my parents going out and buying a second beach home. And all of this was happening around me while I was at school. And as I was coming to my senior year, I was thinking to myself, what do I want to do when I grow up? Right? I still, I think some of us are still asking ourselves that no matter how old we are. And I was sitting there and I'm watching what my mom was creating, and I knew I wanted freedom. I was always so driven by working for myself and having my own hours. I am the world's worst employee. Like, literally, you tell me if you're going to give me a set income, I'm just not going to do anything. Like, I was not meant to be an employee. My dad could attest to this. I tried to work at his company once. He found me in the file cabinet room laying on the ground. Like, I can't do this anymore. It just was not for me. So I was always really passionate about that idea of working for myself. But I didn't know if network marketing could be for me. I saw my mom do it, but she was in her 50s, and, the women that she had brought on board were all moms, and they were in their 40s and they were in their 50s. And so what I decided to do is I was like, if I'm going to take a serious look at this, I'm going to go out to Celebration, which is our annual event that happens once a year in the summer. And I'm going to see if this is for me, for real. And so I went out to that for myself. And what I saw is not only was there thousands of people there from every walk of life. And what I love about network marketing, and I don't know if people valued this as much as they might be valuing it now, is that it's the greatest equalizer. You know, in a world that right now we're seeing more than ever, that there is still so much adversity in so many ways, for whether it's your race or your gender or your sexuality, this company in this industry is the greatest equalizer. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter your race, your gender, your sexuality, nothing. Pink, polka dotted, doesn't matter. All that matters is your work ethic. And so I show up to this event and I see people from all walks of life. And what excited me the most was I saw other young people. And there was this thing called Start Your Life. And it was this movement of young people of the ages of 18 to 35 within the ISAGENIX community who just had a vision for setting other young people's lives on fire, saying that we don't have to just accept waiting until we're in our 60s to enjoy our life, that you don't have to live in a cubicle or go backpacking. Like, I was of the belief that it was either like have the life with no money or have no money, or have all the money with no life. And those were kind of the two options that I was being given. And, you know, when I was around other people who were, you know, a couple years out of college, it was like, don't worry, you know, you're always going to be exhausted. It's normal to get more tired as you get older. It's normal to gain weight as you get older. It's normal to have, you know, bad digestion and health issues as you get normal. It's normal to just live an unenthused life and live for 2 weeks paid vacation and your weekends. And I saw that as the normal, and I didn't want that. And so here I am at this event around hundreds, if not thousands of young people who are saying, no, I'm going to go out and I'm going to build something for myself where I'm going to pay off my student loan debt faster. I'm going to have an extra stream of income so that I actually can buy a house when I'm in my 20s. You know, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get rid of altogether my job because it's sucking the life out of me, and I'm going to go travel the world and work from my laptop. And my mom always taught me something, and this stuck with me growing up. She always told me, she goes, whatever you choose to do, look at the person at the top and ask yourself, do they have the life that you want? Because if the answer is yes, then do whatever it takes to get there. But if the answer is no, you probably are in the wrong spot. And at that point in my life, at 22, I was looking around at all the different careers I could choose. I was really into fashion. I was like, maybe I'll be a buyer. But the people at the top, I didn't want their lives. And then here I was, and I was looking at the people at the top of this company, and I was like, yeah, I want that. And I figured, I'm a hard worker. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. You're going to have to learn skills. You're going to have to put the hours in. You're going to have to get rejection. But I was like, if I'm going to start at the bottom of anywhere, I might as well start at the bottom where I actually want to be the person at the top. And so at 22 years old, I started building my business part-time as a senior in college. And then I started full-time right after college because I had gotten my income kind of off the ground. And everyone starts part-time in this business. There is no such thing as a full-time network marketer if you're doing it right. Even today, as a full-time network marketer, I always say I live full-time and I work part-time because my life is so important to me, and living my life is important, and my work just kind of filters in around it. And so I started building my business. And by the time I was, 24 years old, I was making a full-time residual income of about $50,000. My income was higher than that, but the residual, guys, the leveraged and residual income, meaning that at 24 years old, I was waking up on Monday with $1,000 being dropped into my bank account, whether I worked or not that week, because of what I had done for the years prior. And I'm going to explain exactly what that looks like. Because of what I had done for the years prior, my income was being dropped into my bank account at 24. So like any 24-year-old, I gave up my lease. I moved to San Diego for 3 months. I lived in Bali for 6 months, 6 months. I was in Australia. I went to Hawaii. I was in Croatia on yacht week partying with a bunch of other 20-something-year-olds. And most of them were like, oh my God, this is the best week of my life. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty average for me. And they were like, what? What do you mean? This is our like 1 week vacation of the year. And I was like, actually, I just came from Hawaii. And right before that, I was in Bali. And then from there, I was able to spend my whole summer at home with my family and live on the Cape. And, the biggest thing that this has blessed me with, honestly, more than the money and the travel and all of that, is time with my family. I've gotten to know my parents like most 20-something-year-olds wouldn't get to know their parents, because most of the 20-somethings are off trying to build a career, working ridiculous hours while their parents are getting older. And it's not until their parents are unfortunately too old that they actually have the time to spend with them. You know, I got to be around my brother who was in high school while I was out of college, and I never missed anything. Didn't matter where I was in the world. I could book a flight and fly home for his high school graduation, for, you know, any games that he was playing. And it's gifted me this. And, you know, when I was 25 and I met a guy and I wanted to move to Philly because that's where he lived, I was able to pick up and do that. It's complete choice. And what would your life look like with a little bit more choice? Whether it's the choice to buy that organic groceries versus the non-organic, or if it's a choice to get a manicure, pedicure twice a month instead of once a month, or if it's the choice to send your kids to private school if you want to, or the choice to pay off their college debt if you want to, or the choice to have 3 weeks vacation, or to be able to take them to Disneyland, whatever that choice looks like for you. Money is not the end all be all, but it does give you choices. And when you earn it in a way that's not attached to your time, it's the most incredible liberating experience you'll ever have. So with that being said, what is network marketing? Network marketing is a company. ISAGENIX is the company within network marketing industry, and the industry charges us with the responsibility of building a network of people who consume a reoccurring product while leveraging teamwork and the power of exponential growth. So I have a couple things highlighted in here because that sentence might be a little confusing, but as I break it down, you're going to understand. See, what are reoccurring purchases? Cleaning supplies, food, transportation, makeup, skincare, electricity, cable. You can read the list. Pretty much everything in our life is reoccurring if you really think about it. I don't have a ton of bills that aren't reoccurring. Even clothing to a certain extent is reoccurring because you need to buy some, especially for kids as they grow out of it. But in general, most of our things, you use it and you have to purchase more of it. So here's a really great example of how a reoccurring purchase could actually be paying you reoccurringly. So first of all, you have Uber. When Uber first came out, it was literally just transportation. Instead of a cab, there was this new app that was called Uber, and it was going to give you the same, you know, service that a cab was going to do, but better. And what they did was they had a linear referral cash model. They said for every person that you share who downloads it and orders their first ride, they'll give you $10. Amazing. Do you know how many people were like running around like, oh, get my Uber code, get my Uber code. I want the $10. So it's a linear cash model. But what if it was a linear and residual cash model? What if not only did they give you a $10 credit for every time you shared with a friend, but they also give you 10% on every ride that they took from now on? Guys, I honestly probably spend about $200 in Ubers a month. So the person who, I don't even remember at this point, originally shared Uber with me, not only would they have gotten their $10, but what if they were just receiving that $20 every single month? They didn't do anything extra. They referred Uber to me, I don't know, 6 years ago, but every single month, somewhere between $15 to $30 is getting dropped into their bank account because I am purchasing about $150 to $300 worth of Ubers a month. That's that residual cash model. Well, what is that teamwork piece in that explanation? Teamwork is where you get the leverage side of network marketing. So you saw the residual side. It's in having a product that's consumable and used over and over and over again. The teamwork side is that we build as a team. And the concept is I would rather have 1% of what 100 people do than 100% of what I do. Because then I can actually leverage myself, right? Instead of being a sole proprietor where I get 100% off of my work, I'm going to have employees in a traditional model or whatever it is. I'm going to leverage myself. And here we use teamwork to leverage ourselves. So instead of getting paid off of, let's say you only have 4 hours a week to build your business, well, let's say you have a team of 5 people who each have 4 hours a week. Now you have 20 hours of work that you could get paid on. So if we were going to bring this back to that Uber example, what if not only they gave you that $10 credit, but then they also gave you 10% off of all the rides, and they gave you 10% from every ride someone that you shares with takes. right? So let's say you share with 5 friends, and those 5 friends are using Uber every single month, and they all share with 5 friends. Well, now you have 25 friends that are now using Uber. And this last piece in that equation was the exponential growth. See, the way that the world works is that word of mouth is exponential. Facebook is a pure example of that. They never used any advertising, but somehow billions of users across the world are using it. Why? Because friends told friends. And if 5 people tell 5 people, you have 25. And if 25 tell 5 people, you have 125. And if 125 tell 5 people, you have 625. Now notice the multiplier is always 5. You're not doing any additional work. The person on the level of 125 is still only sharing with 5 friends. They're not doing anything more extravagant than the person on the first level, right? They're all just sharing with 5. But that exponential growth, now imagine if you had 3,125 people in your network because you shared with those first 5 who shared, and each of them were only doing $10 in Ubers a month. And you got 10%. I did really easy math here, guys. That's $3,125 of leverage and residual income that you would be making every single month. Some of this might be going a little over your head because I'm talking fast because I know that we have a time restraint. I want to respect your time. But if you ask the person who got you started, they can really explain this more to you. And if you're getting it, you're probably at a point right now where you're like, holy crap, how did I not know about this? Can you imagine if $3,125 every single month came into your bank account, whether you worked or not, because you built something once off of a leveraged model that pays you over and over and over again? That's what ISAGENIX is. See, take out the Uber, put in the most incredible nutrition in the world, nutrition that people need more today than they ever have before. We have a literal global crisis going on. Building up our immune system, getting our nutrition under control, having a healthy solution, having groceries delivered to your door, none of those things are going to harm you right now. They're only going to help you. And so all we do is we have a solution for a really great source of food. It's not 100% of your food source, but you're going to redirect spend a portion of your grocery budget. Now, notice what I said, redirect. You're not going to buy more than you were buying before. If you spent $300 on groceries a month, you're going to redirect, which would be very small, but you're going to redirect some of that money towards ISAGENIX. And it's going to be a portion of your groceries. And I promise you, by putting these products into your body, you're going to start feeling better. And they're going to be your favorite groceries that get delivered to your door every single month. You're going to look forward to that auto ship every single month. And naturally, you're going to start sharing just like I did. But if you choose to, you could build an incredible business that pays you not a lot of money, not just a lot of money, I should say, but pays you in a way that creates freedom for your family, that creates financial freedom, not just financial success. So that is all I have to share with you today. Again, the products is everything. We have nothing without them. 100% of the people that purchase ISAGENIX are consumers first and foremost. And so if you have not tried the products, you need to put them in your body. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You literally have no risk by trying them. And get back to the person that got you on this call tonight. And I really hope that you get started. Try this out and see if it's for you. Have a great evening, guys.